I think this is the right distance from the mics.
This sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. We'll
find out.
I'm not an audio engineer.
I'm not a doctor.
But I might be.
But please. We are now.
We went to get our MD in Riverside software.
I was very interested to see where you were going with that.
I don't know where I was going. I just kept talking.
You know what? Well, that's called doing a podcast.
That's called doing a pod.
Back with another show that hopefully can be 45 minutes to an hour of respite for everyone going through the horrible fires in LA.
Yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely devastating. I lived in LA for almost a decade. My husband's from LA. I feel like everyone I know knows someone who was affected by the fires in some way, shape, or form. But I think we hope that the Sports Gossip Show can be a little reprieve if you've been affected or have family members or friends who've been affected. And yeah, our hearts are going out to everyone. And yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's sort of unbelievable how awful it is. And we're thinking of all of you.
Yeah.
We do have another announcement.
We do.
Which is that we once again have a phone number. And it's the same phone number that we talked about last time. We got some wild voicemails.
Oh my God. Insane.
Some really lovely texts.
Lots of lovely texts.
Some requests for things for us to talk about, which we will.
Yep.
Can you tell the good people of the Sports Gossip Cinematic Universe what that number is, Madeline?
I would be honored. The phone number is 712-7-GOSSIP. That's GOSSIP. And if you don't know how to type that in on your dial pad, all good.
Very difficult.
It is 712-746-7747. And there have been some messages about whether we are actually replying. We are actually replying to the text messages. So we do see them all.
Oh,
it's
we
not
see
a bot.
Everything. If it's on the internet, we've probably seen it.
We've probably
I
seen
mean,
it.
not like in a gross way. Jesus. Oh my God. Okay.
We knew what you meant. We're going to move past that.
Moving right along. One more little bit of housekeeping.
Yes.
As they say in the biz. I don't know if they say that. Is that we need you all to subscribe on YouTube, please.
Please.
We're very close to 1,000 followers, which is very exciting. But if we hit 1,000 followers, we can do YouTube lives.
How incredible would that be? A little watch along. I don't know. If a brand wants to sponsor it, we know you're listening.
Because once again,
we're doing this ourselves. You can find us at Sports Gossip Show on YouTube. Obviously, you can also find us at Sports Gossip Show on TikTok. Will that exist next week? I don't know.
But we are on Instagram.
We are on Instagram.
So if TikTok goes
Gossip
away,
Show.
that's where to find our videos.
That's where to find us.
Yeah.
So please subscribe so we can, I don't know, make some more fun live content on YouTube. We have such lovely subscribers over there. So
everyone's been very nice to us. We're very grateful. And any subscription, anytime you tell your friends, any review, any rating, it all does really make a difference. So, and shout out to everyone who's found us via some clips on social and you're listening for the first time.
Yeah.
We hope you have a ball.
Yeah. Welcome to the Sports Gossip Cinematic Universe.
We're so happy you're here.
Should we get into it?
Oh yeah, we have some stuff to talk about today, Madeline.
Boy, do we.
Should we start? I think it's only natural that we start with Brittany and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I think
because they welcomed another baby girl, their
Congrats.
third kid.
Wow.
They named her Golden, so they now have, I believe, a 3-year-old named Sterling, a 2-year-old named Bronze, and a newborn named Golden.
You know, I respect the commitment to a brand. It feels like they're all named after like Olympic adjacent medals and hard metals.
Yeah, you know, the silver, bronze, gold.
Yeah.
Sterling instead of silver, but usually used to refer to silver. Interesting that they didn't just go with silver though, when you think about it.
Yeah, but I do feel like silver is a little bit odd. That's
Sterling sounds more
Sterling,
name-like.
Sterling's just more of a name.
And bronze is because it's the full name, I believe, is Patrick Mahomes III. So it's 3. Bronze is the 3rd place medal.
Wait, so does the kid have 2 names? Is
no? I think it just goes by.
Like like an AKA bronze. Also,
yeah, it's
known
like, you know,
as?
when they say like, it would be like Charlotte in quotes. C-dubs Wilder.
I'm gonna start calling you C-dubs. Yeah, okay, I get it. My immediate. Oh yeah, go for it. No,
Patrick quote Bronze Levon. So it's not Patrick Mahomes III, but
okay,
but its first name is the boy's first name is Patrick, and Patrick Mahomes is a junior,
right?
So
now my question is, if you look at their other children's names, so Sterling's middle name is Sky, Golden's middle name is Ray, Bronze's middle name, I guess, Levon, I think. Is that right?
Yeah. So
seems like. Do these kids go by the middle names? Or do they all, I don't know, do they go by the middle names?
Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah. Because in her post or her story, she'll say Sterling and Bronze. I think Bronze is the only one with a first name that isn't related to something that would come from a mine in the earth.
I will say something. Unique names, do what you want. Mm-hmm. Do you. Mm-hmm. But I will say Gwyneth Paltrow is the pioneer for all of these baby names. If you don't know, Gwyneth Paltrow, founder of Goop, actress, she named her eldest daughter Apple, which at the time was like shocking.
I still remember the tabloid columns.
Yeah,
they named her Apple.
Right, but you know what? She was a pioneer.
She was.
Apple walked, so Golden could run. And maybe Golden will run because Golden
might
father
run.
is,
and her mom played soccer.
Right, there you go.
They're very athletic.
They're very athletic.
I do think, I'm always impressed when people, when all the kids' names start with the same first letter.
Yeah.
Or there's a theme.
Right.
And these are names that can stand on their own.
They can stand on their own.
Like you meet someone named Sterling, you're like, you don't immediately think, well, I guess her siblings are named Bronze and Golden.
No, you don't. I don't think you think that. And Golden, I guess, Goldie, cute nickname.
I like that. I like that. Goldie.
That's cute.
In other sports gossip news, Taylor Swift, who we haven't actually talked about for a while. She's been laying kind of low.
Like 2 or 3 weeks.
Which is a record.
I think that might be a sports gossip show record.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, if you don't know, international pop star dating Kansas City tight end Travis Kelce, she liked the post. And I think Taylor Swift liking anything on Instagram is about as close as we come to a comment or to an interaction.
Correct.
She doesn't like very much, but she did also, I believe, like the post where they announced they were having a child.
Oh, that's sweet. That's nice. She's chronically online like the rest of us. That's great. That's good to know. And speaking of Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce did confirm that Taylor is going to be at the Chiefs playoff game on Saturday. He was on the Pat McAfee show and was kind of asked about it indirectly. And he said, quote, "You know it, baby," which I can totally picture him saying.
It's so Trav
feels
of him.
Feels on brand.
So Trav. He also said, I think Pat McAfee said something about like, how are you feeling? Are you feeling old? Because he's 35. And he said, I'm feeling 22.
He did not say that.
And they sang a little bit of, I'm feeling 22. And he was like, I'm so glad you picked up on that, Pat.
I like it.
So into it. Committed to the bit. Talk about being committed.
He's committed to something. Bit. You know what? I love it. He's proud of his girlfriend. I love it. It's great, as he should be.
To drop lyrics of your pop star girlfriend's songs on an ESPN show.
Iconic. That is the content.
Is that gender equality? Who's to say?
Who's to say? Who's to say? Whatever.
It's not.
It's not. I love it. I'm here for it. And I cannot wait to see what she wears to this game. Any predictions?
Oh, man, Madeline. I think it's going to be out there.
You think, really?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, because I feel like last year was her, Chiefs sweatshirt girlfriend look. As we've discussed, she's gone fully into her WAG, glam era.
Right.
And I think for a playoff game, and we saw hints of this with the, bustier top and the jeans at the Super Bowl where she looked amazing.
Yeah, and then the high-rise boots she's been wearing all season. Or high-rise boots? That's not right.
The skyscraper shoes.
What are they called? Like above the knee boots? Thigh-high boots.
Knee-high. Thigh-high.
What did I say?
Sky-high boots. Good branding.
That is good branding. Yes, I agree. I think she's going to step it up. I don't think she's wearing a sweatshirt. I feel like she's going to wear, I'm going to guess a skirt again.
Yep.
And I'm going just heels. I don't think boots.
Oh, really?
I think maybe just some heels. With a short skirt.
The games are at Arrowhead, so
I think she only goes to games at Arrowhead now, I believe, because of like security reasons.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Checks out.
I that's my prediction. I think she's going heels, short skirt, or maybe a skirt with like a sweater or something.
There's going to be a coat. There's going to be a coat involved.
I guess it is cold.
I think it might be boots.
Okay.
Anyway, you know what? This is all relevant because we're going to find out on Saturday what she's wearing. I'm very excited.
When they play the Houston Texans.
Do you think her publicist extraordinaire, Tree Payne, goes to the games with her?
I've never seen her at one of the games.
I haven't either. But what if she's like in the taking a separate back way and then like hiding?
Well, maybe Taylor definitely has someone there who's on her team besides the security. Unless the security team is really just kind of like her assistants for the day also.
She's got to have someone.
That's a good question. If anyone knows the answer, who works at Arrowhead,
let us
know.
I think our heads would explode if we saw Tree Payne at a Chiefs game.
Then I'd be like, it's me at a game. Her red hair.
Madeline was there. A tall redhead.
Yeah.
We love a tall redhead.
We love a tall redhead.
One specifically.
Me.
Not Tree Payne. Oh, we do love
Tree Payne. We do love Tree Payne. Get her on the pod.
Tree Payne, please join our show. Football wise.
Yeah.
I saw this in real time. A.J. Brown, wide receiver for the Eagles, when the Eagles play the Packers, had only one catch in the entire game.
Okay.
And seemed a little frustrated, which he later said he wasn't. But he went to the bench and he pulled out a book. And it's a very rare thing to see an athlete reading a book on the bench.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. Has that happened before?
Robin Lopez, when he was on the Milwaukee Bucks, he's known for being like a wacky, funny guy.
Okay.
He was wearing a Groucho Marx shirt, I believe, and reading a book on the behind the bench after they cut him that day. He went to the game and was reading a book.
Okay, that's funny.
That's very funny.
That's silly.
I think there's like maybe a few other instances, but like this was a wild card game.
Right.
So he's reading this book, Madeline. I see this. Obviously, everybody on the internet also sees this. I immediately started Googling. I could see from the cover.
Yeah.
It was a bluish, whitish cover with mountains on it. And immediately I was like, well, this is a self-help book.
100%. All about climbing the mountain.
Right.
Of life.
So I Googled self-help book Everest cover to see. And then I Googled and I was doing reverse image searches, but the picture's too blurry. So I just kept getting back these watercolors. And then, of course, in 2 minutes, somebody found the book. And it's called Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy.
Okay.
And when A.J. Brown was asked about this afterwards, he said, I was not frustrated at all. I figured that's what you all probably thought. I wasn't frustrated. He added, I like to read.
Okay. Here's what I got to say, though, about that before you can continue this quote.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. Oh, I like to read, period. Okay. Has he done this before?
I don't think that cameras have caught. Because I think it would have been, I think the fact that he didn't get that many catches, and wide receivers are the divas of a football team.
Why are they the divas?
Because they're like, I need more catches, and it's very opera and, ballet. They're like catching these insane things. It's very flashy.
Right.
And they're known for being like, well, if you don't give me the ball, then, I'm going to sulk. Like Drama. Odell Beckham Jr.
Yes. Okay.
So that's why people were like, oh, he's doing this to piss the team off. He says he wasn't. And then I think Nick Sirianni said, some guys pray in between, some guys meditate in between, AJ reads in between. Whatever these guys need to do to put their mind in a place where they can play with great detail and great effort, I fully encourage them to do that.
And is that their coach?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. No, head coach of the Eagles.
I don't know. I was like, it's a guy.
Yeah,
Nick.
It certainly is a guy.
Found a guy on the street.
Nick Sirianni, Eagles fan, said I encourage.
I'm like, yeah, of course I know who that is. No, my thing is, I get that he was probably not frustrated. I think that's probably true. But this man knew cameras were on him. And he pulled out the book. My question from a logistical perspective.
Yeah.
Who brought the book out? Did he bring it out? Because I don't imagine he ran out in the tunnel with the book. So my guess is it was an equipment manager who brought the book out, or some personnel from the Eagles brought it out. Who brought the book out? That's who I want to talk to.
That's a great question.
Who brought it out? Did he bring it out himself? Was it in a backpack?
I bet that he, even though he says he wasn't frustrated, was a little frustrated that he wasn't getting catches. And at halftime, brought the book out then.
Okay, interesting.
So he's saying he's not frustrated, blah, blah, blah. They ended up winning the game. However, the passing thing on the Eagles, who's getting thrown the ball, because they have this amazing running back, Saquon Barkley.
Right.
So because he gets the ball so much, there have been rumors that the wide receivers have been frustrated or annoyed.
Okay.
So he's saying he's not annoyed. I think he knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing. the funny thing too, when I saw that happen watching the game, he looks like he's just flipping open to a random page. It doesn't look like he's actually reading the book. It looks like, when your parents catch you in your room, like on your computer when you're supposed to be doing homework or something like that. Like you're supposed to be cleaning your room and you pretend start doing it, like panic cleaning or panic doing work. Like that's kind of what it looked like. He just kind of like opened it quickly.
100. This is me sitting next to my dad, quote, doing my homework when I was 14. And then the minute he looks over, minimizing the AIM.
Oh yeah,
window.
correct. It's like when I go to a coffee shop and whip out a book. I'm not reading it. It's performative reading. Performative reading.
That's what this was.
AJ Brown is doing performative reading.
And I respect it deeply. Madeline, it sort of felt like, how people will just like open the Bible to a page? Yes. Like self-help books feel like the Bible of hustle culture. I think
you're onto something.
I respect it. If I could write a self-help book, I would.
Yeah.
But I think I would be laughing too hard the whole time.
I couldn't do it.
Which I respect. Look, there's some great self-help books. If you read them,
shade to self-help books.
Awesome. Like whatever you got to do.
Right.
Some of the things, this book came out in 2009, and some of the things that the publisher put out, description and previews, this is what they said about the book. Inner excellence shows you how to, this is all caps, connect with your passion, lowercase, and run with it. All caps. Focus your energy, lowercase, and reach your goals. All caps. Build on your strengths, lowercase, and live your dreams. Uppercase. Get in the zone, lowercase, and achieve the extraordinary.
Wow. Question about this book. Wow, we're really just continuing talking about this, but I can't stop.
It's fascinating.
Is it a New York Times bestseller?
It is now.
Okay, it is now, but was it before?
To number 1.
Okay.
After AJ Brown read it on the sidelines.
I'm always thinking it goes all the way to the top. Did he invest in the publishing company? Does he know the author personally? I have lots of other questions because I'm always like, why? He's not reading like a Malcolm Gladwell book, just like a kind of general.
He's not reading 10,000 hours.
Correct. The Artist's Way. We talked about this last week. It feels like
this
a specific
is
one. It's niche. Unless he's just deep in the self-help book lore landscape. Or, again, thinking about always what's going on behind the scenes. Is he starting a book club?
AJ's book club. Well, oh my God, you're a genius. See,
Brown's books.
This is why we're not conspiracy theorists. We just ask the questions.
No, just asking the questions.
Because in our experience, things usually, you dig deep enough.
There's probably something else going on. That he's starting a book club. He knows the author.
He did play college football, the author. Apparently.
Okay. Then my thing is, did the author text him and say, hey, man, I got this great book. It probably will help with your confidence on the field. You just whoop that out. Throw me a bone.
Wait, so here's something that I'm interested in, because Murphy, this Jim Murphy, the author, a 57-year-old from Washington State, was well aware of the sudden interest in his self-published book.
It's self-published?
From 2020. So I don't know what I found that said it came out in this. Oh, you know what? Sorry. Wrong Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. There is a previously published book from 2009 called Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. The book that AJ was reading was not that Inner Excellence. It was the
Jim
one
Murphy?
with the mountains on it, self-published by Jim Murphy in 2020.
A self-published book. The math isn't mathing here. AJ Brown, explain yourself.
Jim Murphy, explain yourself.
How did he find this book? A self-published book? No shade to self-publishing a book, but I'm just saying there are thousands of self-help books out there. How would he have landed on this book if he did not know the author personally or had a stake in the game? Literally.
Wow.
I mean, right?
We need answers.
We need answers. Let us know.
Let us know.
Anyways.
Wow. That felt so good.
It felt so good. Only on the sports gossip show would we spend, I don't know, was that like 10 minutes?
It was a while.
Talking about a self-help book that an athlete was reading on the sidelines for 2 seconds on TV.
Asking the questions that I would argue other people aren't asking.
Correct. And that's why you're here.
Wait till we get to Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend.
Unfortunately, she is back in the mix.
But before we do, I want to keep going on the football theme here. The Cowboys, our thespian friend Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, who you will recall if you listened last week, was in an episode of Landman, turned in, as you pointed out, Madeline, an Emmy award-worthy performance.
Correct. He's at least getting a nomination.
That would, oh God.
There's no way he's not.
Make it happen.
People in the comments, I will say, there were a lot of people in our comments on social being like, well, he's just telling a story, which I agree. I think he is just kind of telling a story from the heart. But to be able to do that on television and perform the way he did is iconic.
I don't think people have an understanding of when a camera is literally in your face, because it's a close up.
Right.
Yes, he's telling a story about his own life.
Sure.
It was earnest. I mean, it was a true story that he was telling, so he could summon his real he's still acting. He's still talking to John Hamm, who is hooked up to oxygen in a hospital bed, looking pretty. If you know that John Hamm isn't actually sick, when you watch it, it's like it's a little dramatic.
It is. Yeah.
And Jerry Jones was looking at him talking as though this was real life. So that's acting.
Yeah, that's acting.
That's method.
That's method.
Anyway, so Jerry Jones, coach of the Cowboys. I mean, GM, owner, everything of the Cowboys. And Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Cowboys. McCarthy didn't exactly get fired, because that would have happened last week when everybody fires their coaches so that they can get in on the coaching carousel of guys who are available to coach. Should be also gals, but we know how the NFL works.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
For coaches that are being fired, do they all have to be fired in a certain week? Like,
No.
Is it like firing week?
It's known as, I think, Black Monday.
Okay.
Because you want to fire your coach as soon as possible after the season ends. Some, like Gerard Mayo on the Patriots, he got fired Sunday right after the game ended.
Wow.
He couldn't even say goodbye to players because they want to be able to start interviewing candidates.
So there's just competition with the
Yes.
other teams to get
Yes.
to get a coach. Okay.
Which is strange, because with the Cowboys, they just didn't come to a contract agreement with Mike
Right.
McCarthy,
Right.
like 4 or 5 days after. But Madeline, here's where it gets interesting. So Deion Sanders, head coach of Colorado, also famous Dallas Cowboy, has been spoken to about this job.
Stop.
He's maintained a close relationship with Jerry Jones and the Jones family. Here's where the plot thickens. His son is going to be drafted this year.
Nepo baby.
And his son's very good.
His son is good. Yes. He's a
However,
Nepo baby, but he also is good at football. So for the record.
Exactly. So the Cowboys are in 12th for the draft order currently.
Okay.
Do they hire Deion Sanders and then say, we will trade up to draft your son? Because Jerry Jones' whole thing in his performance in Landman was about working with your kids.
It's all about family. Oh my God, I think you're onto something here. Yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
It's like a LeBron if Bronny were good. Oh, sorry.
I hope the best for Bronny.
Me too.
I like him.
But-
He seems like a nice kid.
You know?
Yeah. I think you're onto something. Can I say something that doesn't have to do with this, but has to do with Deion Sanders?
Absolutely.
I was watching, I think, the Eagles game last night, and he's in a commercial for, I think it's Boost Mobile. Irrelevant, but he's in the commercial, and I'm like, his nickname is Coach Prime, right?
Yep.
Why hasn't he done an Amazon Prime commercial?
Oh my goodness.
And then I'm thinking to myself, is there a Dallas Cowboys documentary? I feel like they did one, but I think it was on HBO. I think it was Hard Knocks. I don't remember what it was, but I just started thinking about that, and I'm like, how great would it be if they did Amazon Prime, did a Coach Prime Spawn Con deal when he goes to coach the Cowboys, and they do some sort of documentary about it, and his son plays for him.
Yeah, I mean the name too. Like his nickname is Primetime. Like call it Primetime on Amazon Prime.
I feel like we're onto something.
Press release writes itself, everybody.
I think it'd be great. Anyways.
Yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. And it makes a little more sense if they wanted Deion Sanders this whole time, because Deion had said, I'm happy at Colorado, blah, blah, blah. If the Cowboys knew they were going to try to hire him, the timeline, I guess, is a little bit different, because I guess other NFL teams weren't interviewing him.
Right.
So they could take their time with the McCarthy contract and then be like, okay, psych. And then Jerry Jones picks up the phone, calls his good pal.
Right. Is there what's the likelihood that this is going to happen?
I think extremely high.
Really? Wow.
I would be shocked if anyone but Deion Sanders is the head coach of the Cowboys.
Charlotte said it here. We should put it on record.
And so that if I'm right, we can clip it and repost it. And if I'm wrong, no one will remember.
We will never post it.
We will never speak of it again.
We'll cut it from the episode.
Do you think I'm right, though?
Okay. All right.
The interesting thing will be if they do trade up to draft his son.
I do feel like, again, when we think about the why behind these decisions, narratively, to your point, it's a good story for the Cowboys. They suck. They need a little bit of star power, a little bit of juice. They have this insane stadium with like the biggest LED screen I've ever seen in my life. They like theatrics and drama and excitement. And I feel like Deion Sanders brings that to a team.
100%.
I mean, he did that at Colorado.
He also brings a connection to the past when the Cowboys were good.
Exactly.
Which they need more than anything.
And I feel like no one is more nostalgic than Jerry Jones.
This is a man looking back at his life.
Yeah.
Crying on a Taylor Sheridan television show about what his family means to him. And what family means to the Cowboys.
There we go. Wow.
Yeah. Also, just want to say, just because I care about the Patriots, they hired Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel once said that he would, and I quote, cut off his dick to win a Super Bowl. And I had to ask him about it.
He did not say that.
I was reporting on, yeah, he did. And
okay.
I had to ask him, why did you say you would cut off a body part? And he said, what body part? And I said, you said you'd cut off your dick to win a Super Bowl. And he was like, I was just joking around.
Okay.
I'm very excited about this hire. I think he's going to be great for the Patriots. He won 3 Super Bowls with them. It's a new era.
Okay. All right.
Let's go.
Let's go. Go Pats. Well, in another football quick thing related to college football, we talked about Notre Dame's head coach Marcus Freeman last week, and I said that if Georgia lost, which they did to Notre Dame, unfortunately, that I would root for Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame because
Madeline Hill, noted Georgia Bulldogs fan,
went there, spoke at graduation.
Oh my God.
You can find it on the internet.
Did you really?
Did you not know that?
No.
I don't like to advertise it. You can find it on the internet.
I'm going to watch it because
it's so embarrassing.
I was voted runner-up to speak at both my high school and college graduation.
Stop.
My only dream in life is to give a college graduation speech.
Well, I gave one. It is.
You're living my dream.
Did my jokes land? I don't think so. I don't think it was a tight 5, but it was 5 minutes, and it was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done because it was in the Stegman Basketball Coliseum, and I graduated in December, and so I was like, "Why am I doing this?" Because I remember walking in. I was
you're
like,
smart, talented, gifted.
No,
a mind of our generation.
I don't need to revisit the footage, but if you are a psycho and want to go find it, you probably could. Could.
I'm a psycho, so.
Anyways, I don't know why. Oh, Georgia, yes. So Marcus Freeman, head coach of Notre Dame, they beat Georgia, sadly, but it's okay. And last week I said that I'd be rooting for Notre Dame all the way because as we were saying, like, root for the team that you lost to.
Yes.
And also Marcus Freeman is objectively a very attractive person, but also I'd say probably the most attractive head coach in certainly college football. And we talked about this. Is he the most attractive coach in all sports? We had a lot of counter arguments in our comment section.
By the way, can we actually take a second here?
Please.
A lot of people saying Dan Campbell, which he is amazing. He's a head coach of the Lions. You know what? All of the men that were brought up were beautiful.
Beautiful. Everyone's beautiful. For the record.
Everyone's beautiful. And we're not objectifying anyone here. We are just saying that it's nice to appreciate what college football can do for you.
Correct. Anyway, so they are playing in the national championship. They beat, who did they play? Why am I forgetting? Who did they just beat? They beat
Penn State.
Penn State. Thank you.
Took me a second too.
Penn State, they're playing Ohio State in the national championship next Monday. Very exciting. But the interesting thing is that Marcus went to Ohio State, and that's where he met his wife. Interesting.
I think also what Marcus Freeman has done for the Notre Dame program is unbelievable.
Crazy.
Like, this was a school, they've always had good players, but they were known for kind of blowing it in big moments. Like, if there was a moment that could go well for them or badly for them, it often went badly. And I think the culture that he has instilled there is incredible. They will ride or die for him. His players, you watch him speak, he's like a politician, but like, if politicians were good, he inspires you. I'm like, I would run through a wall for Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
So I think I know he's completely bought in on Notre Dame. I wonder if there is at all when coaches coach against their former places or former places they loved. Also, maybe he didn't love it. I don't know. I wonder if there's any bit of like, oh man, probably not, because you just want to win with your team. But it's always interesting when, or like former or athletes who grew up loving a certain team then play against that team.
Right. It must be an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an honor to be able to play against the place that made you who you are.
I think so. You know what? I hope Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame, I don't even know what their mascot is. What are they? The Notre Dame?
Fighting Irish.
The Fighting Irish.
I should know that as it's just a guy. You could be the leprechaun.
All right.
No. They have lady leprechauns too.
Is that true?
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm too tall.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Entirely too tall.
Aren't leprechauns, don't they like live in a cave and like, isn't that a thing? I don't know. Or no, maybe I'm thinking of gnomes. No, wait. But aren't leprechauns like they're hidden? They like hide in. Am I making this up?
No. They do. I think it's a very Americanized version of an Irish myth, though.
Yeah. Okay. They're mythical creatures from Irish folklore, often depicted as small bearded men who make shoes and are known for being mischievous. They are said to guard a hidden treasure, usually a pot of gold.
Hence a cave. Because if I were to hide a pot of gold, I would probably hide it in a cave.
Yeah, I just feel like, what am I thinking?
Gnomes are the ones with
Yeah. I know what a gnome. I know what a. Thank you for explaining what a gnome is.
I just mansplained gnomes to you.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
Yes, I am a leprechaun. I guess I'm like a very tall leprechaun.
Yeah, another reason to root for the Irish.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm rooting for him. I'm curious. Yeah, it must be a bit of an out of body experience, but I'm sure he's like locked in. Notre Dame, which so am I.
Same. Ohio State is the scariest place I've ever been in my entire life.
I've never been.
They're so intense.
Yeah, I've been to Ohio, but I've never been to Ohio State's campus.
I mean, their football stadium it's in the shape of a horseshoe, so they call it the shoe, and it's like a coliseum, and I wouldn't be surprised if they brought out Roman warriors and lions. Like that's how intense it feels.
Whoa,
yeah,
okay.
You're like, oh, and the just like the eyes of Ohio State fans haunt me to this day.
So what you're saying is that Ridley Scott can shoot the third Gladiator film with Paul Mescal at the stadium.
Yes, and it's about Ohio State and the flag planting debacle with Michigan.
I would pay so much money to see Paul Mescal film another Gladiator movie with Denzel Washington. I mean, could you imagine?
No, and he played rugby, so he could play the role of a football player.
There we go. Wow.
We are giving away so many free ideas today. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Anyway, that's a fun little fact. Very excited for that.
Great.
And it'll happen before we record our next episode. So
yes,
that'll be a fun thing to talk about. Okay, here's something that I saw that blew my mind. The Australian Open is going on. We're transitioning to tennis here for the good folks at home.
Yes.
Andy Murray, former British tennis star who retired, is coaching tennis star Novak Djokovic.
Yes.
What?
Crazy. I actually think it kind of works. Yeah. I love tennis.
Same.
Obviously, if you know anything about tennis, Djokovic is the best player in the world, but he has a lot of controversies associated with him, similar to Aaron Rodgers, similar vibe, different way. Like Djokovic, I think I said, like, he won't take Advil. He refused to get the COVID vaccine at the time. He's a controversial figure in the world of tennis. And he also knows that fans often don't want to root for him during matches. And so he kind of like eggs the crowd on. So like when he would play Roger Federer before he retired, like everyone was rooting for Roger Federer for the most part, not everyone. And so he kind of like fed into his, I wouldn't even call it bad boy image, but like villain of tennis.
The heel turn.
And Andy Murray, I feel like it seems like such a nice guy. He definitely can get heated on the court when he played, but like, he seems like such a nice guy.
I think it's
kind of funny.
Yeah, who knows what he's like? I think that he is a beloved public figure, especially in England. They're like, we haven't had a good tennis player.
He's like a god.
Since, one of the kings was playing with their wooden rackets.
No, I saw Andy Murray play one of his last tennis matches. Was one of the last ones, I think, at Wimbledon last year. And he came out in the crowd, like basically gave him a standing ovation. It was crazy. I love seeing him. I mean, he's great. I love Andy Murray. My husband loves Andy Murray. He's the best. It's funny because I can't imagine having essentially your former coworker become your boss in a way,
but
that you're paying your boss.
Someone who worked at a rival company is now, and you were going head to head with, is now on your payroll.
Right.
And you hire them to tell you what to do.
Correct.
Which I admire. I think on Djokovic's part, it takes a pretty confident person to be like, you know what, I'm going to hire the guy that I played against. Also, Djokovic was always better than Andy Murray. So he's probably just like, you're very good and you can help me. Yes. But I'm not threatened because I was always better than you.
No. And Djokovic was asked about this new coaching dynamic. And he said, quote, "It was a little bit of a strange experience to have him courtside in my box. We played against each other for over 20 years. And it's great to have him on the same side of the net."
Well, look at that.
So, I mean, obviously, Djokovic wouldn't hire him if he didn't want him to coach him.
Right.
Obviously, he wouldn't be like, screw you. I'm just having you here to make conflicts. I mean,
I just want you here so you feel bad watching me still play tennis.
Yeah, right.
That would be very mean.
That would be insane.
Clearly, he's getting something out of this.
Yeah. And I think Djokovic is doing well at the Australian Open right now. Haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure he's doing well. We need to fact check that a little bit, but I'm pretty sure he's cruising.
Tennis, I'm glad it's back. I
love
get
tennis.
a little bit sad when the U.S. Open ends. And
I love tennis.
Tennis, the drama of tennis is so great. I also like to play tennis.
Of course you like to play tennis. Are you also a professional tennis player like you are a professional sailor?
No.
I'm terrible at tennis, but I love playing tennis.
I got decent a couple years ago, but then, I got old and my lower back started to hurt. It's a whole thing. Anyway, whatever. Let's stick with tennis for a second here because Coco Gauff, U.S. tennis player, amazing, won the U.S. Open.
She's great.
2 years ago, I believe. Her Australian Open suit, she designed it after the Marvel. She loves Marvel. And she really liked the female superheroes uniforms, outfits, costumes. What do you call them? I don't know. And she likes cutouts. So she said to New Balance, like, I want to have cutouts in this, but it's a bodysuit. So she said it's if you can't hold your bladder. She said it's kind of hard to get into. If you can't hold your bladder, it's tough.
That would be challenging.
She said, what did she say? She said, you have to sacrifice for fashion.
You know what? I agree, Coco. Sometimes you do have to sacrifice for fashion. Charlotte, you know this, but one of my favorite things to wear recently to Pilates is this bodysuit from Athleta. And there is nothing more embarrassing than sitting on the toilet and like basically taking off your clothes. Like, I don't really know how else to say it because you gotta pee.
If you're not,
or just wearing a bodysuit, girls, if you know, or anyone who's wearing a bodysuit, if you know, peeing in a bodysuit is one of the most embarrassing things.
Jumpsuits also, like if you wear a formal jumpsuit to an event and then you are sitting naked in a bathroom
in a public restroom
simply because you had to pee, it is one of the most humbling experiences.
It is very humbling.
You can have. So I really identify with Coco.
Coco, we feel you. We
got you.
I have a question. Switching gears out of tennis. Mm-hmm. Carson Beck, former Georgia quarterback, is going to Miami and is getting paid $4 million for a year through like an NIL deal. Mm-hmm. But also he'll be with his girlfriend, Hannah Cavender, who is one of the Cavender twins. We've talked about them before. And she plays basketball in Miami?
Yes.
Tell me what's going on there.
This is sort of wild to me. Carson Beck, he was going to declare for the draft. He did declare for the draft. Withdrew it. And because he has another year of eligibility, I think probably he saw that his draft stock wasn't as high as he wanted it to be. So he's going to Miami because their quarterback, Cam Ward, just declared for the draft. He's going to play there for his last year. And I think The Athletic reported it's maybe closer to 3, even though everything's saying 4. So I'm not sure. But Hannah, the NIL aspect of this, name, image, likeness, is fascinating to me because Hannah and Haley Cavender were pretty much the first college athletes to like really cash in on this and make it work for them at University of Miami. And then they left to like do something with the WWE, but then they decided to come back. So they're still playing basketball in Miami. And she made this TikTok. They're huge on TikTok. And Hannah made this TikTok with Carson. And I feel like they have to be like the first lady and gentleman of Miami now, right?
Oh, they have to be. I feel like since Alex Earl left, Alex Earl, the TikTok star/influencer, went to Miami, I believe.
Yep.
And they're like, we need some new stars on campus. You know who else could be a star on Miami's campus, though?
Who?
Not sports related. Who? This is
I'm so excited to hear where you're going.
You know Bethany Frankel from The Real Housewives of New York? She's a little bit of a controversial figure now on social media, but she
founded Skinny Girl Margs.
She founded Skinny Girl Margaritas. I liked her on the show. Also bring back the original cast of Housewives. They were so good. That's a different 4-hour conversation. Her daughter, Bryn, I think is her name. It was touring college campuses, and I got served a TikTok of them touring Miami, and it looked really nice. And I'm like, how great would it be to have like a Nepo baby, Real Housewives star kid going there while also Carson Beck's there? Like I'm like, that's the other star. Come on.
It's so good. It's so good. Do you think that you can get NIL deals not as an athlete, like as the child of a Real Housewife? Would they just give you name, image, likeness? Be like, look, you should just get in on
Honestly, this. I don't feel like we're that far off from that happening. Like schools kind of recruiting famous kids to come to the school.
Which would be a little nuts because that whole controversy over the, Lori Loughlin pretending her daughter rode crew. We've talked about that here before. Oh
Never forget.
Incredible.
Wow. Who is dating Jacob Elordi? His daughter.
Right.
What's her name? Olivia Jade.
Olivia
Jade is dating Jacob Elordi.
Olivia Jade and Jacob Elordi mixed up with Kaya Gerber and Austin Butler.
Yeah.
Because they are both, the women are children of famous people and both of the men are tall. But apparently Kaya and Austin broke up.
I think they broke up. Yeah, but I honestly, I see it. Anyways.
That's neither here nor there. I saw a tweet that was pretty funny about this that said, let's all thank Caitlin Clark for absolutely torching Haley Van Lith in March, which led to her transferring from LSU to TCU, which was going to cut into Haley Cavender's playing time, which led the Twins back to Miami, which led to Carson Beck following his girlfriend.
That is the type of storyline and connecting the dots we like to see on the sports
we live for
show.
You know what? Because they're asking the questions.
They're asking the questions.
And if, just to break this down, Haley Van Lith was a star at LSU. They lost to Caitlin Clark and Iowa.
Yeah.
And that meant that she transferred to TCU, Texas Christian, where Haley Cavender was. Apparently, Haley was going to play more than Haley Cavender. They went back to Miami. Don't know if all of this is actually true, but it's a beautiful butterfly effect.
Beautiful. Tweet. I love it.
So there's that. Okay. Got to check in on Bill Belichick and his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan. Bill Belichick, former head coach of the Patriots, current head coach of UNC. She has been active on social media.
Very active.
The post that really killed me, Madeline, was a post congratulating the president of Croatia on re-election, I believe. Can you just read this caption?
Yes. She said, quote, "I'd like to send a well-deserved congratulatory message overseas to Croatian President, if I'm pronouncing this last name correctly, Milanovic, for his monumentally victorious campaign for presidential re-election." She then tags President Milanovic and says, "The people of Croatia have given you their sacred vote not once, but twice, but 3 times now, including your term as prime minister. This repetitive entrustment speaks volumes towards your leadership and dedication to the democracy," with a capital D. "We are looking forward to connecting with you again in the quinquennium, Mr. President." Don't know what a quinquennium is.
I looked up quinquennium.
Please tell me what that is.
It is a period of 5 years. I think it has some significance in Croatian politics.
Okay. All right.
But
fine.
Every word here that she could have used a simple word, she used a longer word. And the picture is of her, Bill Belichick, and the president of Croatia. And then you click to the next one, and it's her and like 7 other men. It's zoomed out, and you see there are actually like 9 men at this table and her, maybe 7 men at this table, 8 men at this table. I can't count. 8,
however many it is.
8 older men at this table and her. Right. And you know what? To her, I say, well done, Jordan.
Well done.
First of all, there should be more women in that picture.
Correct.
Any government should have women in it. So the fact that she got herself in there at all, the reason they were there is because Bill is of Croatian descent and they were giving him honorary citizenship.
That's nice. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
But it's like she is masterminding her way into every situation that Bill Belichick is involved in.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And she also, we didn't even mention this. In the caption, she added 2 hashtags. The first one being hashtag your vote matters and then hashtag in every democracy. Is in every democracy a movement? I've never heard that hashtag before.
She also
Let me click on
supported a candidate from...
She's trying to start a movement. It's the only post with that hashtag.
Oh, Jordan. She also supported a candidate from Maine who was an election denier. But, what are you
going to do?
What are you going to do? So just want to say that there should be more women in the room always.
Always.
The key takeaway of this.
Do you think she's trying to tee herself up or Bill Belichick up to run for office one day or get some sort of ambassadorship post in the future?
Yes.
That's what it feels like.
She is 100% angling for something here. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is yet.
But she's using her relationship and her newfound platform as hard as anyone can. And you know what? What else are you going to do?
What are you going to do
in this day and age?
What are you going to do? Use your platform for something, I guess.
Yeah. Hashtag in every democracy.
Hashtag in every democracy. Well, switching gears a little bit.
Yeah.
You mentioned something that's going on with Bryce Harper and some of these concerning cooking videos.
Yeah. So
what's going on?
He's a star of the Phillies, baseball team in Philadelphia, obviously. And he's been making these videos that fans are like a little worried about. He's cooking, which great.
Sure.
But he made one where he makes date caramel for his coffee. And he says he uses raw milk, which is like kind of one of those buzzwords that's like the wellness to right-wing influencer pipeline.
Yeah.
Like you should drink pasteurized milk. Sure. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. But like pasteurized milk isn't bad for you.
Correct.
So with that said, he looks like he has two black eyes in these videos. They're on TikTok.
Okay.
And he is taking us through his process of making coffee. He's taking us through his process of making banana bread. And fans are just sort of like, what's going on with him? Do you see his...
Yeah, what's going on?
I don't know. And he's like speaking sort of softly. And I've never seen this side of Bryce Harper, so I sort of love. It's like, cool, you cook, amazing, dude. I like that he's the one that he's doing it.
Yeah.
But there's something like a little bit, just like slightly off.
Yeah.
And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that he seems to have two black eyes.
He does seem to have two black eyes, which is a little bit strange, and they're not addressed.
Did he have an upper bleph or something?
Interesting, maybe.
Is this cosmetic surgery?
I don't know, maybe. Which you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But it is a little strange. And it does feel weird because he has not posted that many videos on TikTok. And then to just start randomly posting these food videos that are a little bit strange in tone feels like something else is going on.
So anyway, keep an eye out on Bryce Harper.
You mean keep two eyes out?
Keep two.
I don't know what's going on there. Wow. Wow. Anyways. That felt like a real millennial pause.
That was a big time millennial pause.
We haven't really talked about the Premier League that much on the pod.
No.
There's so much drama in the Premier League, and I know we see messages. We do need to talk about the Premier League more because there's so much drama. Just a quick thing. Do you know who Pep Guardiola is?
No, which is embarrassing.
Okay, he is the head coach of Manchester City. Okay. He's been their head coach since 2016. The TLDR on him is he's very good. He also dresses. He's very chic. Okay. He wears like a black turtleneck and like a black jacket to every match. He's great. I think for the most part, Premier League fans don't cover me, but I think people like him. There were some controversies, I think, with the team. I honestly am now, of course, blanking on it, but I think it has to do with like money and ownership. And
yeah.
They were like doing an investigation.
Business,
work stuff.
Issues.
That's like a whole other deep dive. We're not going to get into it. But I did just see that him and his wife are deciding to separate after 30 years together.
30 years.
I know. Her name is Christina Sarah. News of their split was first reported by a Spanish outlet called Sport. The couple met in 1994.
Whoa.
Not crazy.
Crazy.
But apparently they had been living apart for more than 5 years, which maybe that's because she didn't want to move to Manchester. I don't know. Because he's been coaching the team longer than 5 years, but 2016.
Yeah, maybe she moved there and she was like, not for me.
Yeah, right. She was like, I want sunshine. And no offense to Manchester, I have been there, but it's not the sunniest place. And I feel like if you're from Spain or you want to, be back in Spain. She lived in Barcelona with one of their 3 kids.
Yeah, it's not the sexiest city.
It's not the sexiest city. I will say it's a cool city. No shade to Manchester, but
I think there is something sexy about that like charm of, I'm from New England. It's the same thing.
Charm of
like a cold, a cold, cynical place.
Well, we don't like places that are warm.
No,
let's be real. We're
absolutely
pale.
not.
I mean, my Irish jeans, my leprechaun jeans are.
Yeah. Oh, you're like, I would prefer a dark, damp cave. In the peat bogs.
Yeah. But anyways, despite them not living together, they were regularly photographed together in the years since. But apparently the outlet Sport reported that the decision to end their marriage was made in December with only members of their inner circle aware of the split. And apparently their trusted friends and family have also been told to not disclose any further information, which
does that mean they signed NDAs?
Interesting. Maybe. I mean, he's pretty famous.
I feel like there's something like have been told not to discuss any further information. Yeah. Everybody probably says that. You tell someone a secret and you say, don't tell anyone. If it's that much so that they've been told not to discuss it, that it's in reporting, feels like it might be a NDA.
Yeah. I mean, maybe maybe it's NDA and there really isn't any other juice. They just don't want people talking about it. Or maybe there is juice. I mean, 30 years is a long time. That's not a failure of a marriage. No. I mean, that's a long time.
That's great.
They have 3 kids.
They did an amazing job.
Long time. I wonder, I don't know if he will say anything else on the matter. I can't imagine he will. But British tabloids are notoriously tabloidy. So
kind to everyone.
Yes, very kind to everyone.
It is interesting to me when, a relationship that long ends because there's so much we can't know. Like, what was it like has it been like this for 25 of those 30 years? Did they have an arrangement? Did they, everybody's different.
Who knows?
And it doesn't sound like we're going to get much more information.
No, I don't think so. But I did see that, and I hear you. We got to talk more about the Premier League.
Yeah, I appreciate this. The Premier League is one of my more underknown things in sports. So I would like to learn, and I feel like gossip is a really great way to learn about
100%. That's the best way to learn about any sport.
The only way, really.
The only way to learn about anything.
Also, because sports is just gossip.
It is, at the end of the day. What do we always say? It's just workplace gossip.
Drama.
Yeah, drama. Yeah.
For big companies with famous employees.
And lots of money and apparently maybe some controversies with the ownership and whatever's going on behind the scenes.
Well, we'll dig in.
We'll dig
in. More on this next week on the Sports Gossip Show when Charlotte Googles. It's really just Googling.
Do you like I was talking about Manchester? I'm like, there's controversy. I'm like, don't remember what it is.
Couldn't tell you.
Something's going on. I don't remember.
Yeah, I appreciate that deeply.
Oh, the other thing I forgot about Mr. Pep is that Pep in his step. He did make a cameo appearance on an episode of Ted Lasso.
Oh,
yeah. So maybe he's going to get another guest acting Emmy like Jerry Jones.
Oh my God! I put more GMs and coaches in film and television.
Oh, please.
Is Ted Lasso? I didn't watch much of it. I watched maybe the first couple episodes. What do they have taped above the door? It's not Clear Eyes, Full Hearts.
It's like
Can't
We
Lose,
Believe,
because that's Friday Night Lights. We Believe. Play Like a Champion Today. That's Notre Dame.
I don't know. I just Googled Ted Lasso sayings. That is not what to Google.
Well, see, but all of these things are formatted with a yellow sign with blue tape because that's what they put above the wall. I don't know. I think it says We Believe.
Okay. Which Jason Sudeikis, if you're listening, let us know.
Come on the podcast.
Come on the pod.
As far as sayings go in sports, We Believe is pretty succinct and to the point.
Yeah, I do like that. Straight to the point.
Also,
why complicate it?
Exactly. Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid.
KISS. My mom taught me that. So in the interest of keeping it simple, that's all we have for you today.
That's all we have.
Reminder, 7127-GOSSIP, which in English or numbers is 712-746-7747. One day we'll have that memorized.
One day.
In the meantime, you should memorize it and you should call or text us.
Please do that. And as always, please rate, review, subscribe, especially on YouTube at Sports Gossip Show. But we're also at Sports Gossip Show on everything else. If you want to partner with us or you just want to send us an email, info@sportsgossipshow.com.
Our ears and eyes are open.
They're open and listening.
What? Okay, bye.